keeping tabs on the unfolding situation in Europe and watching the birth of a military-industrial complex and the eventual birth of an EU army, more developments. Following this document, which I believe is going to be a pivotal document in history, European Council Conclusions on European Defense. This section right here gave the financial birth of the European military-industrial complex. And today, out of Germany, we have Bundestag decides to decouple the defense budget from the defense break. The debt break, forgive me. Meaning that they're willing to debt spend if they have to for defense. We're going to go through a few of the quotes of this, not too many. The chairman of the CDU parliamentary group, Friedrich Merz, addressed the international situation, the security situation in Europe in the debate. Putin is waging a war of aggression against Europe and not only against the territorial integrity of Ukraine. This requires a paradigm shift in defense policy. Europe cannot yet defend alone, but only together with the USA. But it must move step by step towards an independent European defense and European defense community. And we go on here. The SBD parliamentary group chairman spoke of a historic decision in this debate. It could be a positive departure for Germany and Europe. With a view of international situation, Klingbeil stretched that Germany now take on a leadership responsibility in Europe. The decision also sends a clear signal. We will do everything we can to maintain peace in Europe. And one final quote from this. This is from Federal Minister Boris Pistorius. We're facing a decision of historic importance. The security and future of the country depends on it, said the Social Democrat. Europe must grow up in terms of security policy, and the decision cannot be postponed. In the future, the following steps must apply. Threat situation takes precedence over cash situation. So there you go. This section of this document just made threat situation takes precedence over cash situation in Germany a thing. And this is on top of the German defense minister saying that he has his ministry exploring potential models of your military conscription. And this is right after Poland announced they will order all men to undergo military training under plans to create reserve force as Europe rearms amid mounting tensions with Russia. So you have one country considering it, conscription, one country enacting it. One country now taking the shackles off and being able to spend beyond any limits when it comes to defense. And what are these things they're going to be defending against? Well, the Russians.
Starali się do końca tego roku mieć już model gotowy, aby każdy dorosły mężczyzna w Polsce był szkolony na wypadek wojny, tak aby ta rezerwa była rzeczywiście porównywalna i adekwatna do ewentualnych zagrożeń. Pani poseł Pamuła, jeśli dobrze słyszałem, zwróciłem się do ministra obrony narodowej, aby przedstawił opinię.
Withdrawing from the Ottawa Convention. We're going to cover that here in a moment.
Ja będę rekomendował opinię pozytywną, aby Polska wycofała się z konwencji ottawskiej i być może z konwencji dublińskiej. Mówię tu o minach przeciwpiechotnych i broni kasetowej. Nie ma się co oszukiwać. To nie jest nic fajnego, nic przyjemnego, dobrze o tym wiemy. Problem polega na tym, że w naszym otoczeniu ci, których możemy się obawiać, albo ci, którzy uczestniczą w wojnie, wszyscy to mają. Na pewno niebezpieczny, biorąc pod uwagę kontekst międzynarodowy, ale gdybym proponował powrót do zasadniczej służby obowiązkowej, to bym to powiedział. Nie, mamy kilka modeli, to jeden z najbardziej takich docenianych to jest model szwajcarski, To znaczy, to nie jest obowiązkowe, ale są zachęty, które powodują, że mężczyźni decydują się na coroczne szkolenie i to nie symboliczne, nie udawane. I będziemy gotowi z tym modelem.
There he was discussing the final part there. He was discussing the conscription plan for Poland and that it was going to be based on incentives more so than your traditional conscription. And the Ottawa Convention, that's another story that just came out today. Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia want to leave the Ottawa Convention on anti-personnel mines. What it is, it's a convention on the banning of anti-personnel mines in the use in war, because they're designed to maim people more so than kill them. They're horrific weapons. And his point, the Polish prime minister, is the Russians have them. The Russians are using them. We can't limit ourselves just because we have moral qualms about using a weapon that is going to be effective against an enemy that we feel is a threat to us. So, you have all of these foreign ministries saying that they want to leave that convention. And this is all part of these nations starting to coalesce around themselves, and they're going to form an EU army eventually. The French have now said that they're willing to offer their nuclear umbrella for nuclear safety. Once these guys coalesce, and they will continue to do so, and the developments have been fast and furious, by the way. These are just some of the stories. There's a story on that they are trying their own dedicated wingman, like the Air Force just introduced here in the United States. They've contracted with Airbus for that. They are really coming together quickly. It's almost like they knew this was coming. And the banks are clearly ready to go. The banks are really clearly ready to go. So we have Germany, who is coming out and saying, it's not me saying this, threat situations take precedent over cash. Bundestag decides to decouple the defense budget from the debt brake, and Europe in general is okaying it for banks to reevaluate firms that specialize in banned weapons, and for them to evaluate defense loans with a special eye. The military-industrial complex of Europe is born. Soon, I would expect to see the birth of an EU army starting with a joint command, so you can have joint tactics and joint strategy, and the recruitment from nations, individual nations, to a non-nationalistic army, but to an EU army. I think that's going to start. All the groundwork has been laid. Financially, it's all right there. Germany's taken the first step. Now you have talk of conscription. Voluntary at first. They're talking about using the Swiss model at first. As they see the threat grow, that voluntary will become compulsory. So, eventually, if the United States doesn't leave Europe, they'll ask us to leave. That's my prediction. They'll ask us to leave because they'll think they can take care of themselves. Maybe they will. Time will tell. But the financial groundwork has been laid. The Europeans laid it on the 6th of March. Germany has followed suit. I wanted to bring that to your attention. You guys have a great day. If you liked it, hit the like and subscribe. Maybe share it with a friend. We'll talk next time.